Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TIP and our technology partner Prime Infotech Solution. I am Jolly Singh, co-host at Coffee and associate with Prime Infotech Solution. And this is the series of Emerging Lawyer, and today's theme is navigating disputes insights from an emerging legal force. Today, we have with us Dhruv Malik, an esteemed advocate at the Delhi High Court and a counsel at Juris Corp. With a wealth of experience in dispute resolution, Dhruv has represented a diverse range of clients from corporates to public sector undertakings in complex arbitrations and litigations. Recognized as one of Asia's super 50 dispute lawyers and a recommended lawyer by the Legal 500, his insights into the evolving landscape of commercial law are invaluable. So join us as we delve into his professional journey, exploring the challenges and triumphs he has encountered along the way, as well as a glimpse into his personal life beyond the courtroom. A very warm welcome to you, Dhruv.
Thank you, Jolly. That was a very gracious introduction. Thank you so much for it.
It's an absolute pleasure of ours. So before we delve into the conversation, I would very much like to let you know the flow of the entire conversation we are going to have today. We are going to have actually three rounds in total. The first round is the professional questions round. The second round is the personal questions round. And we end the entire conversation with a very fun rapid fire round. And if you perform really well, we have a small surprise for you from a gift rather from our side. Literally embrace yourself and let's get started if you're ready with the very first round, which is the professional questions round. And to start with, my very first question to you would be that would you like to share like how your journey has been into law and what inspired you to specialize in dispute resolution and not the other streams? Why dispute resolution specifically?
Hmm.
Because it's there's a lot right now
Yeah, no,
options. Yeah.
absolutely. And yeah, the legal um, landscape has really evolved a lot over the last couple of decades, I think. Even when I joined, uh, I mean, of course, there were various streams that were there. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting to see how the profession has grown and what all avenues have come about. But I think for me, personally, I think when I started off, I'm not from a legal background. I don't have anybody really who was a lawyer or was in the judiciary. But it was just I think one conversation that I had with somebody which really made me very intrigued by the profession. And it was, I think, class 11th or 12th, I think 12th. Uh, so, the question of what do you want to do in your future, and I think I had a very clear understanding of what I did not want to do, but
That is.
i I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I
Okay.
think that conversation was something where just the concept of what law is and what all it entailed, and I still remember it was somebody who was talking about various scenarios, and you have to see whether under the Indian Penal Code would that be something that would amount to murder, and how the intent was very important. And how do you know the intent of a person who is the accused, because he's not going to come and say it? Then what are the mechanics that are involved for you to be able to say without any doubt that that person did have an intent to commit that particular crime? So I think just in that conversation I got so I mean, it just felt like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is it, this is for
Yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is exactly what I wanted to do. Although never done anything criminal or anything related to criminal law after that, but that surely did pique my interest and made me give law a chance. And I think throughout my entire education and all, also when I was in college, whether it was moot court or something, I think disputes always had or being able to appear in courts was always something that uh, always caught my fancy, always was something that interested me. It was always something that excited me the most about the profession.
Right.
Uh, Although, but now that I practice it, I do realize that it's not all rosy. And when you see all those TV shows, that is when I was younger, like a Boston Legal or something,
It's
or Mr.
nothing
Allen
like
Shore.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very different. I mean, like you will have some of those days, but most of your days are very rudimentary in comparison, and very
right.
um, yeah, the day just happened. Then like not too much progress might be made. But yeah, so I mean that's how I got into it, and it's been a great journey, and I think somewhere even uh, somewhere I realized that probably this is where, since I'm the happiest doing it, I don't know about how good I would be at it, but because I'm happy doing it, so then that is probably my calling, and that's what I would want to continue doing.
With the introduction that I have given, like you're doing quite well with where you are right now, and like we are really looking forward to collecting all the insights that we are going to have in this conversation today with you. So when you are like saying appearing in the courts, the kick to it is very different. So any particular case or any particular scenario or situation that you still hold a memory of, that reminds you of
Yeah,
the court specifically.
I mean, no, there are a lot, and I think a lot of time not even just being there, but sometimes just to be able to experience it, and uh, have those situations where that there is no black or white in that particular dispute. It's
Hmm.
all gray.
Right.
But how do you still need to make sense out of it? How do you still need to be able to adjudicate upon it? I think that's really an interesting aspect to it. Like the and how I think I've realized that if you can find a reasoning to anything, and how you build that reasoning is how important that, or how good that case can be, or how you can really convince the judge. And so it's a very interesting aspect, and I think for me, like I've had those scenarios where uh, especially like I have done a few disputes for financial bodies or financial institutions.
Mhm.
So you have a situation where technically everybody is on the same side of the battle, but within themselves there's another separate battle that might be going on. So so those layered kind of disputes where you will have a situation where I still remember, like, and this particular dispute had gone all the way up to the Supreme Court, and of course I was associated with Juris Corp at that point of time, and when we were going through that entire case, it did become a situation where we had two creditors or two class of creditors who were battling it out amongst themselves. I mean, like, it was under the
Mhm.
insolvency code which had just come out. Uh, Everything else is sorted. The particular entity which went into insolvency has already got a new owner, and the money is also about to come in. But then the dispute is about who gets how much money. And so to be able to navigate that, who would have those rights, whether, and from sitting outside, you would always think that there are two parts to every litigation battle. You have part A and part B,
Yeah.
with right or wrong, but you would seldom see that two people on the same side would be having that battle. And I think so it's been very interesting in that sense. And I just realized that, and because I was involved with the case from the inception, I know how at one point in time everybody was very pally, everybody was ensuring that things get done. And then suddenly a point came where everybody takes out the swords, are about
Okay.
like lines are drawn that no, now it is going to be our battle. So even so it's that way, very dynamic, it's very interesting, it's very uh, fascinating, that how that development takes place. And it's fun, and I think a lot of that I see, or I can equate to also how things work in the real world. I mean, how things work, society also works like that. And so it's good. So I learned from what's happening in the real life, and I can use it in my professional life, and vice versa. So
Yeah, actually. And
mm,
like the entire play that goes on behind the scenes of a case, like it's really interesting to catch on to. Like if even if a layman person like gets it to hear the case, that
yeah.
like it's like really interesting. So you mentioned about like working with Juris Corp. So how has your experience at Juris Corp been shaping your approach to legal practice?
Well, Juris Corp has definitely had a very significant impact on who I am today, or what kind of a lawyer I am.
Mhm.
And I think I joined that particular organization when, I think, in my third year probably. and I worked there for 8 to 9 years. And yeah, so during that period, I realized that it is not only about being able to do the work, it's also about knowing the right way of doing the work. And like, there's a big emphasis provided on the quality that has to go out, and there are certain non-negotiable that will be there, and was predominantly on the quality of the work. And that's it. And I think you learn the process, you learn that you have to give it your all. Your preparation is what matters the most, and the results are something that is not going to be in your favor. And I mean, maybe in your favor, may not be in your favor, but definitely not in your control. So the thing that's in your control is something that you have to ensure that you have it locked down, you have it done to a T, and you ensure that no matter what, at least you don't fall short on your own commitment levels. And I think a lot of that happened in Juris Corp because they inculcated that aspect in me, or that particular quality in me, and made it a non-negotiable for myself also. So now, although I am still associated with Juris Corp, but I do have my own independent practice. And but that's the lesson that I've even taken along with that, no matter what, ultimately it is only going to be about my quality. That's what's in my control. My preparation, that's what's in my control. And more often than not, that's what serves you the best in the scenario.
Okay. And would you say that all these things has contributed to you not taking the decision of just switching the organization? Because like it's in a trend right now that
Mm.
like you grow after working for a 2 or 3 or 5 years, let's say, because you have been associated with Juris Corp since 9 years, 8, 9 years. So
Yes.
like, has this been one of the reasons of like not giving your entire dedication to the organization and not switching like towards like saying ki, oh, I would switch and I would like see a better percentage of growth? How would do you see to it?
Well, I think we all aspire for growth. I
Yeah.
think we all want to. It's also about the kind of growth. I think that's where it might differ. Yeah, but for me, I think I was very clear that Juris Corp has given me so much. And when I was also looking at it, and I think I still remember this was during COVID, and I was just uh, COVID was the time when we all could reflect and introspect as to
Right.
what all is happening. And somewhere I understood that I really wanted to give my independent practice a chance. I really wanted to be the person who will go to court and look to argue matters, and be more present in court. Because no matter what you might say, when you're in a law firm, the practice, even though you might be doing dispute resolution, the practice can be a little more different
Right.
than your own practice. Because you will have a situation where you might be wanting to engage other counsels when it comes to a firm. You might work more as a solicitor, and in your own practice you can look to take everything and be the barrister, the solicitor, anything that you want with your own matters and your own practice. So I think that was something that I was very intrigued, not even intrigued, that was something that I really realized that I wanted to do. And then, and I thought the time was now. If I don't take that step, or as soon as I can, probably I would never take that step. So I think for me, and it was also part of my growth. So for me, this was the important factor, and Juris Corp has been very kind enough to. I mean, when they heard about it and heard what I wanted to do, they were very kind with me, and they've helped me. They supported me in whichever way they could, and I think that's it. I mean, even when it comes to where you're working, you're just building relationship, and I think that's the most important, and that's what one endeavors to do.
Okay, bro. So right now you are into the legal world. Our legal world has like two different dynamics. First is the litigation, and the second is the firm and corporate legals.
Yeah.
So and very precisely, we can say that you exist in both the worlds.
Hmm.
Huh. And the world of litigation and let's say corporate also comes with its own set of rumors, with a few of which are fake, few of which are really true.
Hmm.
Litigation has a more like of it, like for the first generation lawyer as you are, who does not have any back support with him or her. So, what do you say about it? What are the hassles that you had to go through to start establishing yourself? How the people who are aspiring young lawyers and let's say law students who think like going for the litigation, what piece of advice would you like to give to them?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, I think uh, one needs to be, or what I've understood is that there are challenges. There are challenges on both aspects. Just because I am a first generation lawyer, does and somebody else who's in the profession, doesn't mean that they have any lesser challenges. Both
Right.
people will have challenges. It's just that the challenges are different. And and what I also honestly believe is that over the course of time, it all levels out. Ultimately, the work that you put in will show, and it may show a little later, it may show a little earlier, but that's how life works, and that's how it is anywhere. You know, so I really don't see that there's a stark difference. I think it's a different journey, at least for somebody who's a first generation lawyer. But it totally depends on how you have gone through it. You overcome your challenges and where you end up being. Because ultimately, you have to understand that litigation is probably one of those few professions which are extremely meritorious. Ultimately, how good you are or how well you do is only dependent on the merit that's there. And so, and for me, that has always been a real sense of comfort. That ultimately it's also about what I put in, and if I put in, and I will get the results that are there for me to achieve. So that is there. But yes, as a first generation lawyer, I think you need to have patience. I think any lawyer, if you're going to do litigation, patience is something that you need to, even if you don't prefer it, I think the profession will just beat it into you. I think all lawyers that have become very patient people, and it's a big change that I've seen in myself also. And know that it's a long race. There is no retirement age. There is nothing. You can go do it for the rest of your life and enjoy the process. Ultimately, uh, and I know it's a little difficult at times, because we are in the world today where everything's compared. Everybody looks towards the left or the right to see what is happening around them. But know that it's your own journey. You will get there. You have to keep the faith. That with time, if you keep enjoying it, you will reach wherever you need to reach. And yeah, it's like a marathon. Don't look at it as a sprint race at all.
And like if you also come with the suggestions of like don't go into the litigation, it's really tough. You should rather go towards like establish yourself. Yeah, in fact, there is a statement among the young lawyers. Me myself also,
Hmm.
even myself, people suggested me. Although I am not a first generation lawyer, my father is a practicing professional in Patna.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, he is a criminal lawyer, so yes. But people did suggest ki first establish yourself, get yourself, have that capital security before you step into the world of litigation. So, what do you say about that? Because capital security is something which also needs to be assured of in the present world. It's something very necessary right now.
Well, I mean, having said that, I think it reminded me of a quote which one of the esteemed arbitrators had made in an arbitration which I was attending some
Please,
time back,
please.
wherein he said that 80% of all lawyers, litigating lawyers, are
Yes,
actually akin to daily wages. His point,
actually,
yeah,
yes.
and there is truth to it, in the sense, see, I don't know how you look at it. A lot of times, I think having a safety net might also be something that makes you complacent. You can put what you have to do today to something that you can do a week later because you have that safety net. So, I don't know. I am torn between the two thoughts also, but for me personally, a lot of time it works, or it gets me going or getting into the groove when I know that, okay, if I don't crack this, I don't know what else is going to come my way. So it acts as a big motivator also. And see, it is whatever will work. Of course, to have that safety net is good, but if you really do want to pursue litigation, you should do it nonetheless. Like, it's something that, and it's a whole different world. You will find your space. You will be able to do what you need to do. So, and yes, it is hard, but I think every profession is hard. Every profession requires you to put in the effort, requires you to make a name for yourself and get the fruits of the rewards for it. And so, yeah, patience is there. You have to ensure that you are putting in the work and things work out.
Not even kidding, like it's a going on rumor in my family, especially ki,
Mm,
my father being lawyer, like my mother says ki
mm,
he's a daily wage laborer. If he's
mm.
like going to the court, he's getting money. If he doesn't, he like,
Yeah.
and she just cracked that joke yesterday, like not even kidding right now.
No, no,
She
and it's a
just called my father like, वो तो डेली वेज लेबरर है, जाएंगे जाएंगे नहीं जाएंगे नहीं जाएंगे, तुम क्या फायदा वकील होने का.
yeah, no, and I think I realized that also only when I started doing my own practice, because I suddenly realized that I only have those 220 days where I can put in the work.
Yes.
And when I'm not working, usually my expenditure is a lot more. It'll be like for a month, the courts are closed. What
Oh,
are you going to do? You might look to
summer
go for one
vacations and winter
travel.
vacations.
Yeah, exactly. Or you look to go travel. So, in fact, you don't earn and you spend more. So yeah, so it's an interesting, and that really altered for me, because when you're working in a law firm or something, you know that you'll get paid all those 12 months, right? Now I only get paid on the days that the courts are working. So it was it was very different at that moment. And but yeah, I mean, I know that now I have to, whatever I was earning for 12 months, now I have to do that in 9 months. The
I
other three
can't
months are
even
for
like tell
myself.
you at what level I am relating to you right now, because I
Yeah.
have been saying it this like since past 25 years, like in my family. So I am
Hmm.
like vibing with you to the next level on this conversation. But yes, I have like other set of questions for you as well. We have to skip this part right now. Can you discuss your role in representing the Competition Commission of India and the significance of this work?
Yeah, so that was something that was happening. So competition commissioner earlier was, or when we were working together and I was representing them, so they were still at the very nascent stage. I won't say nascent, like, yeah, in the middle stage. Like, it's a new agency, but it's covering a very interesting field. It covers economics, marketplaces. I think I really love the subject matter that the entire law is all about. And so I've really seen how they have also altered their approach. They've grown, they've seen what works, what doesn't work. And to be a part of that process also, to whatever limited extent that I was, has been really satisfactory. Like, and I still remember there was this one case that we were doing, which was about who would have the preferential jurisdiction, or who would have the priority of jurisdiction when it comes to a particular sector. The sector was telecom. So whether it would be a regulatory authority like the Telecom Regulatory Authority, or whether it would be something like the CCI. And both are special acts. It's not like a general special issue also, like, so that was a very interesting case that was there, and it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the issue was that how do you now look to reconcile the two situations? And I think the Supreme Court in that matter, uh, although I wasn't very happy because we were representing CCI, but they did say that the sectoral regulator would have the first bite of the cherry. And if they have come up with a regulation, then that is something that they would have priority over the sectoral regulator and not CCI. In this sense, CCI would be more of a general regulator. And so yeah, so again, that clash of jurisdiction, clash of laws, and I think that's the most interesting aspect of litigation. When it comes down to that, where you really need to do a lot of homework. You will really need to understand the origin of everything, why that come about, and a lot of the issues. I mean, and what we figured was that the power that TRI were given, which were akin to a competition commission's power, was also due to the fact that TRI came in much earlier than the CCI did. And because competition was still a concern back when TRI had come in the early 2000s, that they had given those powers to try to look at or assess whether there is a competition uh, or whether there has been a competition concern that has come up in the industry or not. So, so it's interesting in that sense, and it's also interesting how the court goes about it. But yeah, and from there on, I think CCI really has understood their role. They've understood that how what's the best way of going about it. Not everything needs to be uh, adjudicated. They are more the regulator. They don't need to fight those battles in court. They can give their orders, and yeah, people will know what needs to be done, and people can fight. It's other people's battle to take it to court. It's not for the CCI to understand whether their orders are right or wrong. They have to look after and govern the markets, and that's what they're doing. Yeah.
Right. Law being such a dynamic profession, how do you stay updated on changes in law and regulations that affect your practice? We have already recently we have had the biggest change that we can have in our life, the history of
Yeah.
law, like BNS, BNSS, and everything. So, and
Mm.
also we have to do a lot of legal research. So, what are the few of your sources, let's say primary and secondary sources that you refer to, and how do you go for it? Your approach mainly.
So, I think I have a very scattergun approach to it. I think, but I have uh, the source on every thing. Like I might get information through WhatsApp, I might get information through online, and a lot of passive information also comes to me. It's not like that I'm actively also looking at it, but I
Okay.
signed up to a lot of uh, these judgment disseminating.
Mhm.
Now you have a lot of players who are doing that, or or will give you little snippets. I think
Yes.
social media has played a big part. Now we have lawyers coming up with certain YouTube videos. Sometimes you see them on Instagram, and talk about just new
Newsletters.
judgments.
Yes.
Newsletters are there, so like that. And but the point is that then you have to just put in the effort of even reading them, because a lot of time when you get all of this, you tend to ignore them. I think that's what I consciously try not to do. And it is, I think that understanding is there, should be there, that whatever information is coming, you will you don't need to worry about when it will be of use or not. Just getting information, sometimes the best thing that can happen. And of course, when it comes to a particular matter where you have to have a more rounded research, or a more penetrating research that you need to do, then yes, then I will go online, I will have various books, I'll go through that. But otherwise, yeah, it's important. I think every day I would look to take out an hour of my time, which is in my calendar, which is only meant for me to just catch up on what's around. And yeah, so be a little disciplined about that, and you will have, there's so many tools that are now there. And I think right now, for a lawyer to get information, or I think for anybody to get information, it's probably the easiest time. It used to be difficult maybe 10 years back, 20 years back. Now everything at your fingertips.
Right. And are you a book person or more of a like digital person? Because people also prefer like going through the journals and
Hmm.
law books and everything.
So I'm transitioning. I
Okay.
am technically or have been a physical copy book person, but now I'm looking to transition. It's not an easy. It's been a struggle for me, but yeah, I'm still continuing to alter it, and because I know that going digital is probably that is the way.
Era we are going
Yeah,
to be in.
or the future is going to be all about that. So yeah, so it's better to get on the bus before I miss it. So I'm learning, and hopefully it should happen.
Okay. And moving on, like what skills do you believe are essential for aspiring lawyers who want to excel in dispute resolution? Because dispute resolution is also now being, since like last 4 5 years is now like in attention right now. People are very much attentive about like also preferring it as a kind of specialization they want to do for.
Hmm. Yeah, so see, skill is, I think, one of the most important skills has to be that you will have to be disciplined. You will, and you will need to know that everything matters, everything counts, like, and it's an incremental game, like you will improve, increase, everything will happen incrementally. So, one, be sure that that's what you want to do, because it is a commitment. I can't say it is not a commitment, and it's probably a commitment of a lifetime. But once you're there, it's okay. You take it slowly, take it step by step. each day look to learn something new, and you will get there. And take it as a process. What we've done 5 years of law school or 3 years of law school, take your next 5 years of your litigation space as also an educational journey. And I think that's the best way of going about it. You will find your rhythm, you'll find your way, because then there's no one way of doing it. You all can, everybody is unique in their own way of doing it, and your uniqueness is what is going to make you excel in litigation. So, just trust that, and it should happen.
I've just noted down that advice, like take 5 years, first 5 years of your like working as a lesson,
Yeah.
like just as it's an absolute like awesome advice that any young professional like us could have. And I am very sure like our audience have also like noted it down. Um, how has technology, like you are transitioning, right? From
Yes.
books to digital
Yes.
digital thing. So how has technology helped you with the, and which legal tech tool has impacted your work?
I think the most, for me, I think what has really helped me out the most has been the dictation softwares, uh, because it suddenly made my life a lot easier. Suddenly, note taking a lot easier, drafting becomes a lot easier, less time consuming. I've saved a lot of time with that. Uh, but that is me personally, and I think that is also at a stage where, uh, well, I can say that I'm reasonably experienced to know and to be able to handle certain things. I know that it also takes a lot of skill, but yeah, it's a game changer for me. I mean, it saves a lot of time which I can utilize for my own personal time, or maybe for another matter, or maybe to read something else. So yeah, so that's there. And apart from that, I think just having some good uh, newsletters or subscriptions to certain good ones, where you know that your kind of subject area news will be provided to you. I think that's absolutely essential, and that's more than enough, at least when we're starting off. And later on, I guess you can keep adding more and more tools to it, because now you have a lots. uh Chat GPT has been a real, actually I would say that
Game
that's something
changer.
that you, no, but something that one needs to be a little careful of, because I did have a situation where I received a particular pleading, which was somebody had written it, but then put it in
Okay.
ChatGPT to just make it uh, make the English better. But uh, again, it is even if you want to do that, one needs to be a little smart about what you want to put in, what you don't want to be put in. So yeah, so use technology, use tools, but use them smartly, use them wisely. Apply yourself even when you're doing so.
Uh, Now that you have like mentioned chat GPT, it is my prime job to like ask you a question about it. Uh, Drafting is one of the skills that we legal professionals acquire over the years, and drafting is something which is like, let's say that how you draft defines the kind of legal profession you are. If I am right, you can
Mm.
like
Yeah.
make a point to it. So and now there is chat GPT right now, and with one command you have like the entire legal notice and pleading. In your case, pleading and contracts and
Yeah.
agreements, all is ready. But that is not something like very accurate and be preferred to. So, common layman people, the common person, as well as the legal professionals who are very new to the profession and want to save time, both have been like they abusing the chat GPT
Mm.
in their own respective way to their own respective benefits. So what do you say about that? How correct is that? How wrong is that? What's your opinion?
See, I see it is an aid, and it should be an aid. It is something that can help you out. Uh, it might be something that can save you some time, yes, if it does. But it cannot be something that's trusted. It cannot be something that's like the gospel truth, that whatever comes out of Chat GPT is what has to be there. And even if you're using these aids or these tools, you have to know first what the intent is. What are you trying to achieve from it? And basis that you always have to still be able to do those alterations, those modifications, to be able to customize it to your needs or your client's needs. So it's very important, at least for a lawyer, that yes, I understand time is constraint sometimes, or maybe your senior colleague needs certain things as of yesterday and time is short, all of that. I do understand that, but the you still have to, you can take the help, but the work output cannot be something that uh, shows that there has been no application of one's own mind after taking those aids. And I think that's where the issue happens a lot of time, and that's where the mistakes come up. That it's considered that that is the correct way of going about it. And one, like I said, you have to trust yourselves. You have to trust that, okay, fine, you understood your client's intent, and that is being captured in whatever you're providing, or your senior colleague's intent, whichever way. And you have to give them what they require. Because, like, if I am giving somebody work, if I can get the same thing from ChatGPT in 5 minutes, then I also will question that, because I want to also see further input. I want to also be challenged by, and see, that's the beauty of this profession, because senior, junior, it really doesn't matter. It's about when there are two lawyers, one can always challenge the other. And that won't happen when somebody just giving me something from ChatGPT, or that will happen when somebody has applied themselves or their minds to a certain thing and question me on it. That helps me be a better lawyer also. So so there, so yeah, an aid, a tool, good, but it can't be something that you completely rely on.
Okay. Adding to it, like, have you till now, till date, encountered any situations where the client has come up to you with recommendations from copy pasting recommendations from ChatGPT, stating, "Oh, this is the right way. These are the things that I want to be included in my drafting and everything." Because I personally have received, have
Yeah.
had those clients, and like people have come up with the entire Word document prepared, copy pasted from ChatGPT, stating that this is the right thing, and like, so
Properly
how do you
formatted,
deal?
looking very
Yes,
pretty and
yes,
beautiful. Yes,
and
yes, yes.
you like going to say, if you are there to say, like, "Sir, what I am going to provide, what I am going to like give to you would be a proper thing. This is the more presentable way and everything." So how do you deal with situations, and do you have you had such kind of clients?
Yes, yeah. So I mean, now ChatGPT is a new playground for everyone. So I think those situations have happened. I think what technically happens for me is I realize that if something like that comes my way, my meeting time will get extended by another 1 hour, 1.5 hours, because I will be sitting and explaining. So then also, and see, when somebody's put in the effort, also what one needs to realize, and it's for everybody, it's even for me, especially in a draft, then you hold on to it. Everything is very important. I can't tell somebody that no, this is not right. I will do something that's
The
correct.
best.
So I can't go by that. I mean, that's not what my process would be in that case. I will actually sit with them. I will again try to understand what the intention was. Discuss the clauses that are there. Does this make sense? This is the good part about it. This is the bad part about it. Did you think about this? I think that's how you have to look at it, because if I tell somebody that no, this is not correct, I think people, that particular line I will lose forever, because he's going to walk out of the door. So that's something I don't want. So yeah, so I'll spend a little bit extra time with them, discuss it, and then understand the intention, probably make those alterations to ensure that their aspects are covered, or whatever their concerns are covered.
They are also satisfied that whatever they recommended has been included in the draft. Okay.
No, and sometimes you hit gold. Sometimes because the client knows best. They will know better than any lawyer also what is it that they want. So it can't be disregarded. In fact, it has to be put at the prime focus for us.
Client
We
is
have
the
to.
god.
Yes.
Okay. So last question for the round, professional questions round through, that where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Flourishing in litigation with Juris Corp, and or with any of the two, which you would be like preferring to choose and select, or just continuing? How do you like? Let me not define anything, but how
Yeah.
do
No.
you?
No. So I mean, even I don't have uh, let's say a vision for the next 5 years. I think I'm at this present moment very much looking at each day as how it comes. And today I'm very satisfied. I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and I hope that continues. And yeah, so right today the endeavor is to continue on my path. That's why I'm on this path. And hopefully in 5 years' time also I'm on this path, just a little further down my destination. That's all.
Absolutely, and we are very much looking forward to it. That is it for the professional questions round. We are towards our next round, which is the personal questions round. And my very first question would be about like your formative years, right? Right from how your school was to the law school you have had, the journey of your law school, and then the first job and the internship period. How everything was like. If you could like pick few from each and every like section of your
Oh,
life.
wow. No, we'll be sitting here for a while then.
I
But
am all yours.
yeah. No, but I think it's been great. I mean, no, lots of fond memories. I think I've had been born, brought up in Delhi. Uh, it's been incredible for me. I mean, like Del I have all most of my family here, friends here. So it's something that I'm one of those people who's still living the life that he was living 20 years back also, because not a lot has changed. So yeah, so barring me, or why I chose law, I think throughout I've just made sure, or I've just been lucky enough that I've been able to build on certain relationships, have good relationships, and yeah, childhood is always been something that's like I know where I have to go eat what I want to eat, like if I want to have the golgappas or the tikkis, so those kind of things, where I played. So all those things are there still in Delhi. So I think it's great that I still have those moments that I can relive. And yeah, I mean, that's how it's been for me. And I think I've just been very happy and lucky to have the kind of life that I've had, and the childhood, or my career so far, or the friend that I made on the way.
And your law school. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so law school was, oh yeah, so law school has was great. Like we were in, although we'd given a competitive exam, but we were part of this IP university, and our law school was Amity Law School. So it was it was the first time that I realized that, or I met people who were lawyers and or children of lawyers, and I realized that the world is so different. Earlier I was in my own cocoon. It was about just me, my friend that I've had, because I was in the same school for the longest, since nursery. So it was the first real change in my life, and I realized that, oh wow, like there's so much more to people, to the world, and like I don't know everything. And yeah, the law school was that way a little humbling in that sense, but also great. I made some amazing friends, people who I share. Uh, like we had dreams together. We would all think about what kind of lawyer we'd want to be and do. And now we've reached a stage where everybody's on their path, and it's interesting, like how the journeys are progressing, how everybody's uh, looking to do their things. And it's been amazing, like, and being from Delhi, being in a law school from Delhi, I think we still end up meeting a lot of people while we're in court. And it's also familiar now, like it just always has felt that, like it's never been daunting. It's always been like, okay, yeah, I know that if I'm entering a new court also, I know that this is like home. This is always been that comfort area for me.
So what do you enjoy in your free time away from the legal profession?
Mm. Uh, so see, I'm a avid traveler. If I get a opportunity to go anywhere, I'm happiest traveling. I think that's one thing. And my aim has always been to see as much of the world as I can. Uh, and go experience it. I'm the sort of person who would like to not go to all the famous places, but I'm very happy to just be in one corner, or one particular area for a couple of days, just go try out or meet the people, the locals there, try the food. I think that's been, for me, traveling been a real plus. Also, otherwise, like would always play basketball. That's something, if I can get a game, I would still love to do it. uh Sometimes the work does not permit it, but now I realize that time has to be taken out for myself. Just one
Yes.
second.
Sure, sure.
Sorry. So yeah, so it's been I mean, so that's something that's there. I do have a pet at home, so a lot of times,
Okay.
if nothing else, I'm very happy to be with pet her and just be around and just have her around. That's there. And having all my friends and family, or most of them here, I think uh, if nothing else, I know that I can just go drop in at somebody else's house or call somebody and can have a nice evening. So yeah, so that's, I mean, it's a mixture of a lot of things. But yeah, I think I will probably do anything and everything but any law in my free time to just
The absolute truth,
yeah.
let's say. How do you balance your professional life with family and social activities? Because it's a lot.
Yeah. So I think I'm one of those people who just says yes and just makes it happen.
Okay,
Uh,
you make it happen, right?
yeah, I mean, if
Great.
I say yes, then I might reach that much later, or I might leave a little bit earlier, but I'll try to make it both happen, so that's how what I endeavor to. Of course, there are times when I might have to cancel, but yeah, the idea that, life is not only about just one thing or the other. I am the sort of person I would want all aspects of my life to be covered. So yeah, I mean, why not? Just
Let's say you are a yes person who says yes to almost everything. Like saying no is saying no a struggle to you?
uh, I no, I don't think it's a struggle to me. For me, it's about that expansion. So if I say yes, I know that I'll end up doing it. I will be able to gauge myself also better and be able to, yeah, do more. By saying no, sometimes I just feel that I will miss out on an experience. So I think FOMO ज़्यादा है.
हाँ.
Uh, ठीक
Okay.
है.
हाँ. It should be there so that you don't miss out on anything. That makes you hold on to a few things. You are just getting on mute again and again. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Moving towards the next question. You mentioned your hobby, like one of the hobbies being like preferring to like travel and playing football. So, what other, let's say, hobbies or interests do you pursue outside of that?
So playing basketball. So yeah. So lately, so I've been trying to learn something new. The other day I picked up on. I mean, last year I tried to pick up on golf. Look to do.
Okay.
So things are so. The idea for me now to be more outdoors. That's what I like to do. So this year I've been trying to do a lot more treks. So things like that I'll keep like. I won't. I think I'm still in the process of finding what works for me. But I think I'm also the sort of person who likes to do a little bit of everything. रात की यही है यही करूंगा. And yeah, so but the point is that yeah, when I don't want to do law, I want to do something else. So uh, sitting at home watching Netflix or streaming and not.
Okay. So with regard to Netflix and chill and everything, are there any books or movies that have influenced your perspective on life or your career? First, like a heavy question, and then I would be asking you like about a little chiller question about your favorite movie and book that you would like for entertainment and not something like you would be influencing yourself from.
No, so I mean, in fact,
You're on mute actually.
sorry, yeah. So I'm one of those people I think who bought a lot of books, not read half of them,
Okay.
or more than half of them, and half read a few of them. But I think for me, I've just realized that books is something where I want to escape. For me, it's going to be an escape. So, like I'm very much about, rather than those self-help books, I'm more into the fantasies and all that. I think for me, uh, after reading so much when it comes to the profession, if I need to read again, I want to read something that I can use as an escape route. And then what I realized was that I am also more inclined towards uh, the slightly more soulful books, where uh, you know it's not really very pertinent about, it's not one particular story, but it might be various things which makes you think that no matter what you're doing, uh, it will matter. It just makes you feel a little lighter in life. I think that's what I look for, and those are the kind of books that I really appreciate reading. And these days, there have been a lot of these. Now I started following a lot of these Japanese authors and their
Yeah.
books. I think they write some amazing stuff. And yeah, by the end of the book, when you finish it, it just gives you that little bit to think about. And I think that's like the perfect read for me.
And like, are you more into fiction or non-fiction stories? Like, if you're talking about
No, no, very much fiction.
fiction.
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Yeah.
said, escape.
Escape.
Yeah,
Yes. A little world.
yeah, yeah.
And
My own world.
yes. And what about the movies and your preferences, let's say, for entertainment purpose?
Um, so I'm not very big on movies. But if I have to watch, so yeah, so I mean, barring these big blockbusters like Deadpool versus Wolverine or
Oh,
something like
yeah.
that, that I will go watch. Uh, but yeah, I'm not maybe three, four movies in a year. Sometimes something comes on OTT and my partner wants to watch it, then yeah, I'll happily watch it. But yeah, I'm more the show person, and I'm still somebody like if I got nothing else to do, I'll probably have some reason or some sitcom, those 30-minute shows, like whether it's a Big Bang Theory or Friends or something like that, that I'll be very happy to pass my time with. But otherwise, I'm a very sports enthusiastic person. So if I'm watching television, 8 out of 10 times it's because some sport is happening, and
Okay.
I can watch basketball, I can watch golf, I can watch Formula One, I can watch cricket, football. It doesn't matter. So my weekends, a lot of my Saturday, Sunday is just about sports.
Okay. How do you stay connected with your friends amidst a busy work schedule?
By saying yes.
Okay, yes. But like there are family, your family is also there, your partner is also there, your pet is also there. Like
Yeah,
you have to like prioritize.
rob on my sleep a little bit.
Okay.
सब हो जाएगा. But नहीं, so see, yeah, I mean, it's about just keeping in touch. I think I'm not very good when it comes to phones and
Mhm.
emails, so therefore I'm a little hamstrung. So I do go like to prefer to meet. So if you want to live a life like that where you don't want, and I use that I'm bad at phone, so I can't be in touch.
Right.
So then you have to put in the extra effort. So whenever I have to go meet them, I will do that. I'll ensure that those 2 3 hours I do spend with them. And yeah, I mean, that's how I like to do it. If I want to stay in touch, then it has to be more in person. And luckily, I've been able to so far, and that should continue.
That's really good. And it's good to be bad at phone, I guess.
Hmm.
Because being good at phone has like led to a lot of you missing out on real time memories
Yeah,
that you can make.
absolutely.
That is one thing.
I agree.
Yeah. Um, if like towards the next question, what is that one lesson you have learned from your personal life that has impacted your professional approach?
So I think the one
Serious हो
thing
गया
that
थोड़ा question.
हाँ थोड़ा serious हो गया but अच्छा है. You made me think also. Was
Yes.
this on the list?
Yes, it is. Like
Okay. So yeah. So for me, I think the one thing that I've been able to look at or been able to adopt rather, not look at, is that it's okay to be okay. Sometimes that we put a lot of significance on a lot of things, and especially work-wise, we want everything to be uh, perfect. We want everything to be a certain way. We want whatever we created, that illusion that we created, we want everything to be like that. Uh, so I think somewhere that has really helped me out, that that you ultimately it's okay for things to be a certain way. It's okay at times to not be the best. It's okay at times to fail at something, and I think that's been real learning. And also the second thing that's happened is that no matter what you do, it all matters. No matter, you might think it won't make a difference, but everything makes a difference. So uh, yeah, so those two principles, I think, for sure I've adopted in my workspace.
and not like making the next question very serious one. Any fun fact or unusual skill that nobody can assume after like having a chat or just a straight look at you that he might not be doing that. What that one unusual skill would be in you?
What the unusual skill? Oh, I think that I'm not as serious as I look. Sometimes I
You
think
don't
that
look
is
serious. I
really
don't.
okay.
Yeah. Like it
Or
has been.
maybe I'm
I
more
am
serious
really
than I
enjoying this
look.
conversation. I don't
Uh,
think like you're a serious person.
maybe
I
more.
don't know about others.
I'm
Like
more serious
maybe
than
not.
I look then.
Okay.
No, no, no.
Okay.
So
Like
I actually don't know. I think there's nothing that's hidden about me. I think people who know me, they know me through and through.
yeah.
And yeah, so I think I appreciate that that's how it is for me. So I don't think there's any secret or any real change that's there. I am how I am. So
Okay. The last question. If you have to describe yourself, Dhruv, in one line, what that time would be?
hmm. Successfully continuing to be in progress, a work
Okay.
in progress rather.
Great. 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 That is it for the personal questions round as well. We are towards the last round, which is the rapid fire round. And as
This
mentioned,
should be
if you
fun,
go,
huh?
yes, I hope that it's fun for you and fun for because yes, and also as mentioned that we have a small surprise for you if you perform really well. Um, so whenever you are ready, we can get started. You have to be very quick while answering, as the name suggests. So should we start?
Sure.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early bird or a night owl?
Night owl.
Um, should I give you a
Trying to be an early bird. Very hard, but not
oh,
possible, I
it's
think.
it's a struggle. Um, okay, let's do with this question. A favorite quote that inspires you. I was trying to be like going on with some unserious questions, but this also like it's fun.
Anything from Anonymous.
Okay.
I make my
One.
own quotes for Anonymous.
Okay. Okay. Great. One thing that you can't live without.
Dogs.
Your go-to stress relief activity.
Playing with my dogs.
One most used app on your phone that you are addicted to.
YouTube.
Okay. And one app that you want to like leave, you want to like just ignore, but you are not able to like get rid of it as of
YouTube.
now. YouTube. Okay. One city you dream of working in and why?
One city I dream of working in?
Yeah. Which
In
city, if any? Like
India,
not
world,
Delhi,
wherever.
wherever. Like if not Delhi.
Oh. I think New York.
Okay. Favorite any travel destination that you have on your bucket list?
Mm, Russia.
Okay. And adventure sport.
Siberia, that part of Russia. Mm,
Oh, okay.
mm,
Interesting choice.
mm.
And one adventure sports that you would be preferring doing next in your bucket
Uh,
list.
so there was this one thing that I saw. Basically, I don't know what the sport is called,
Okay.
but there's a volcano. From one side of the volcano, people are surfing or boarding down. I think it's called sandboarding or something.
Oh,
Uh,
you use the skateboard to ride off?
Without the wheels, just the board.
Yeah.
Right down the volcano, the sand or
Yeah.
the. So
Oh,
I think it's in somewhere in Central America. So yeah,
okay.
that's what I want to do. Yeah.
The best piece of advice you have received till yet. Till then.
Be yourself.
If not law, what career path would you have chosen?
Um, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know actually, but yeah, maybe an MBA or something, and be a part of an MNC probably.
Yes.
I mean, then anything would have worked for me. If not
हाँ
law, कुछ भी चल जाता.
कुछ भी चलता है. And
हाँ.
I am sure you would have like done your best in that. Like you would have excelled in that. Being in top 500 lawyers, you would have still been there as well.
You're being too kind, Jolly. But
I'm
thank
no,
you.
I'm like serious. I'm not being generous, but yes. Last question. Your favorite cuisine?
Um, Everything as long as non-veg.
It's not much. Yes. Okay. So that is it, Dhruv. Thank you so much for coming and giving out your valuable time. This has been a wonderful experience, and I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did having you on this show as a host and our audience for sure. I again thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule, having this session with us. It's like really, really kind of you, and we are really obliged. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jody. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for inviting me for the coffee. And I've had a wonderful cup. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure, Dhruv. And for our audience, please stay tuned to this and many other interesting coffee conversation episodes on our YouTube channel, The Coffee Conversation Show. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And we would be looking forward to another interesting coffee conversation with another guest speaker. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you so much, Dhruv, once again.
Thank you.